independent variable in the model, and we will be creating those out of the data set that is available with us. Okay, so first variable that we have talked about, which is creating age out of date of birth. So, and also one more point is that EDA variable creation are few things that go hand in hand. Okay, so few can start with EDA and then go to variable creation, or few create variables before and then go to EDA. We come back to EDA, if we are creating new variables, or from the analysis we come to know that few things needs to be different, then we go back to feature creation part where we edit the code and edit the variable. So this is like kind of a iterative process, and as and when you get used to with it, you would come to know few things very intuitively, right? So something first thing, what we spoke about is of age, right? For that we don't really need to know how the target variable, or how the other variables are. Just by looking at the data we know that we can create this one variable. Okay, so to create the variable, this is the line of code. Before typing out, just understand, be on my screen before going to your R screen. Okay, again we are using data.table format, and as I mentioned, we will be just dealing with loan data for understanding the concepts. So here we are saying that in the loan data we want to change something. Okay, so we have written loan data, then our box brackets, we know we want to add a column, so we are giving comma here. The column name by which we need to add a column, which is of age, the assignment sign, colon and equal to. Now understand this bigger part. So let's go to first the inside of it. So as dot numeric के अंदर है एक diff time variable, diff time function. So diff time is a function that is used for creating the variable, or getting the differences between any two times. Okay, when I say times, it can also give you the differences between seconds. If your variables are in seconds, it can give you the in days, in years, or in months. Not in a year, unit year is not available, but diff time is basically for time as well as dates. Sys.date is what is a base package function to call today's date. Okay, so today's date being 14th of December, it will get 14th of December. Tomorrow, if you run it, of course, you will get the tomorrow's date. So first variable will always be the creator variable, by which we want to take the difference of. Okay, so this is the first variable. Then our main variable कि अपने को date of birth use करना है to get the age. So we'll write that variable, and then there is a parameter called as units. As I mentioned, it can give you, by default it will give you difference in seconds. So we need to mention the units as dates, because we want it in dates. Now all this, right? All this um, is getting converted as a object, because that's how the function is written. We want to have it in something which we can understand, right? Or which other processes which we will be doing later on that can understand. So what is the best way, or the to represent the difference is age, sorry, is numeric to represent age. So we are converting entire this part to numeric by saying as dot numeric. Till now, are we here? Okay. Then next part is is converting that to year, because usually age is represented in years and not in days. We need to convert. So, and we don't want age in point format, so we are using percent, division वाला sign as slash percent and 365 days. Okay. So if I execute this and then I view the data, I am getting age column in numeric format. I can do str of uh, of loan data, it will be better. It is coming to numeric format, and these are the few values that we can see it over here. Okay, so now you do it and let me know if you have any doubts or any problems that you are getting. I'll just wait for a few seconds for you to write this. Okay. Okay, so similarly, we have also seen something called as loan date, which we know that loan date, right? Which we know that it is a loan start date, right? So what we can get variable, what we can create is till now how much the tenure has passed. Okay, loan tenure has passed. So for that as well, we'll take a difference of today's date, that is current date, and the loan date. Okay, so and this we are taking it in months. So just the difference between the first and the second part is obviously, apart from the column name, is that we are dividing it by 30, because we have converted to days and we want to convert it that to month. Okay, let me run.
And could you copy that command into the chat? I'm getting some syntax error, but don't want to waste
What is the error that you're getting? Okay,
saying.
there are some doubts. No, I would refrain. Actually, just understand. If you are getting any doubts, just paste it. Otherwise, you'll just.
No, it's saying
Uh,
unexpected close brackets, so I'm just not sure what's happening.
can you just share what you have, typed out?
Will you share the screen or just copy what I'm doing?
Copy कर लो चलेगा. Anything that works for you. Copy कर लो so that others are. My screen is up and others can do.
Diff time function is not closed.
Huh. There are two closing brackets here, diff time as well as dot numeric. Because we have two functions, there should be two, brackets over here.
Great.
Saloni has mentioned, can you paste the code in chat box as well? Which code you want? If you have any doubts or any error, then just press the error message. Okay, great. You are able to handle it. I hope you have created two variables, both the variables. Okay. Again, we'll do str to see if that variable is created and if it is in numeric format. You guys also do str and check if the similar is happening for you. So herein we have already created two features. Okay, that is two variables using our data. Okay, now we have seen something called as EMI amount, and we also know here we have EMI amount, right? We we also know there is income, and we do know that something is dependent, or it can be of indicated, right? So what variable we can create is of creating a ratio, debt to income ratio, and to do that, this is the command. Okay. So again, how just come back to my screen. I'll explain how it is very similar, but still I'll be explaining that. So just listen to this. Again, we are talking about loan data. So we are specifying loan data. We want to add a column. So we are adding a comma here. This is my column name. What by new column that I want to insert. The assignment sign colon and equal to, then the actual division of the variables, so EMI amount divided by income. Okay, again EMI amount, because EMI amount is name present with the space, we are using this tilde variables, and income is mentioned just like that, because there is no space or special character. Okay, so let's create this variable and create then again look at the str. Str is actually structure of data. So the structure of data, in which we come to know that this DTI ratio what we have got is in numeric format, and the values looks like this. Okay, any doubt, anyone? um, Now giving few seconds for you to create these variables. Am I going too fast or too slow? You have used a different assignment part. So for assignment we have colon and equal to. It should look like this. Clear now? Khushbu, your something is not in a date format. Date of birth is not in date format. Can you just look at the str and check? The rest of you got it till now? You should have 16 variables in known data with me. Okay. If it is not refreshed, you can just put, you can just refresh it by clicking on this button, and you would see that in the environment as well now there are 16 variables. Khushbu, what happened? I did not get. Which was saying only 13 variables. Have you created all the variables? And did you refresh the environment? Purnima, I did not get your question. Can you speak up? Purnima, is after as.numeric, right? There are two brackets that are open. We just need to open one bracket. While opening, there will be one. Khushbu, did you get 16 variables? Have you created those 16 variables? Do str and check if you have 16. Okay. Okay, I guess.
So one question. So when we are creating the new feature,
Hmm.
if uh, if the variables that we are using to create that, if some of them have blank or null values, do we need to do something specific, or what happens in that case?
Yeah, if you're talking about this, age variable, what we have done till now, if let's say, for example, date of birth is missing for few of the cases, the age also will be missing in those cases. Okay, because it doesn't have anything to take the difference from, right?
So it
So,
won't show an error.
no, it
It
won't
is just
stop.
drop. What about the last one where you did EMI
Same.
amount over income? Let's say the row had the EMI amount but not the income. What would happen? Would it report an error or just leave
It
that
would
value blank?
it will give you blank, and there are few operations by which we can put that blank with some other values as well in the code itself, especially for taking the ratio. If we can insert it at 0 as well in case of blank, but no, there won't be any error.
So in general, if it cannot calculate it, it'll just leave it as blank, not
Yes,
report as a
yes.
okay.
If there is like a conversion problem, let's say if amount is in numeric format and income is in character, it will give you an error. Okay, but if
Okay.
both of them are in numeric and few of them are missing, the ratio won't come for those rows.
Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead. I hope everyone is up to speed right now. Okay, now till now, we have uh, created few features using just the numeric variables, right? Now we have a numeric variable of income, and we want to convert it to character format. What I mean by that is we want to categorize it or bucket them into smaller chunks. Okay, so to do that, we can use something like this. Now again, मेरे screen पे ध्यान दो. You can do your completion work later on. So herein what we are trying to do is we are categorizing incomes into few values. Let's say low, medium, high, and very high. Okay. So for that, again, we want to work with the loan data. So loan data name, we want to add a column. So comma, the new column name will be my income category, assignment, colon, and equal to. This is something new. What we are saying, we are calling if else. Okay, so if else function works like if with some condition, that condition is true, then we would assign one part. If not, then it would assign some other part. So let's just consider this much right now. Okay, so what this part of code is saying of if else is that if the income is less than 30,000, then we are calling it as low. Otherwise, we are calling it as any. Okay, that's how the if else function works. First, we define the condition, and the condition can be equal to, greater than, any, or less than anything, less than, equal to as well we can put. We are putting right now, if it is less than 30,000, then we are defining it as low. Otherwise, it should be any. Now we what we are saying is, so if the income is, let's say, 31,000, it would currently put as NA, right? But we want to create further buckets to it. So what we say, we would introduce one more if else. Okay? That one more if else would say, if the this is not low, it is not falling into this condition, we are giving it another condition that it should fall under 70,000, then give it as a medium. Okay, if it is not falling under 70,000 as well, then we are giving it a third condition saying it should fall under 1 lakh 20. Okay, and we are calling it as a high. If any value that is not falling for all these four characters, rest all are tagged as very high. I hope this part is clear, because we need to write such multiple conditions in one go itself. Okay, is this clear? Give me thumbs up, please.
So we have done nested if else.
Okay, great.
So yeah, we will be used to it. Just that the difference would be that within the data frame we are making this change.
Right, right.
Colon equal to है ना, that is a new part. Otherwise we have done that.
We are conceptually clear. Okay, that's great. That's great.
Yes.
Okay, then we are just doing it into data frame for introducing multiple conditions. Now execute this in your data set as well, and again do str and check if we have added that one variable in character format or not. You can view data as well, and you can manually see wherever there is income as let's say 40,000, what what value it is assigning in income category. Okay, I'll go back to code for you to look at.
So just as a practice, if we could do a similar thing for loan tenure,
Hmm. Yeah,
as
that
a
was the second part.
short tenure, medium tenure, long tenure, just a refresh of what we had done last time.
Also do it for age as well. So for age, use this categorization: young as less than 30, middle age as less than 50, and rest are senior.
And ma'am, what is for loan tenure?
For loan tenure, you can just do low, medium, and high. You can use your
We can
uh,
do one now. We can do only one as practice. We can do age only. Loan tenure we
huh,
can do
Okay,
one as
ठीक
practice.
है.
just do age as of now. Yeah, we have brackets for that. What is the and also take the frequency of it and just paste it in the group for the bucketing age bucketing. Is anyone done with creating age bucketing variable? Someone's willing to share their screen and show? Forum?
And ma'am, I'm doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am, it's done.
Okay. You want to share your screen or just paste the frequency values in the chat?
Yeah, I'll just paste it.
Yeah, Gaurav.
Ma'am, which package we have to use for iFiles?
If else is in base package itself. You don't need to install any package for that. Forum, why are
Ma'am,
you getting
uh,
business in this?
here is an error, ma'am. Uh,
I
could not find
Just
function
check.
iFiles.
Can you type out what you have given in the command or share your screen? Forum,
Ma'am,
there is some.
there is a spelling mistake. I will correct it.
Okay, okay. Forum, yeah.
yes, ma'am. Yeah, it was just a copy paste error. Yeah.
Okay, okay. No. Yes, looks good. Are others with us? Did they get this group variable? Gaurav, could you create the variables? Shall we go ahead? So I'll just paste, for age variable, the code would look something like this. Since there are only three groups we need to create, there will be only two conditions that will be provided. One is for the less than 31 and the other one for less than 50. Okay. Okay. Then let's say we have some missing values when we have looked into the data. We clearly see education, household income. There are missing values. Let's look at the household income first, right? We do see that there are missing values. So for handling first, let's see how the how that variable is looking like. Household income, we did summary. Herein we come to know there are 100 odd values that are missing in this. Okay, we also know that that the 30 is like minimum and 199K is maximum, not too far we can say, because the third quarter and the maximum are not that drastically apart. Also the first quarter and the minimum are not drastically apart. Okay, so we can't say that there are extreme values present, but we do see that there is abnormalities in terms of missing data. So what we can do is, for handling this missing data, we just impute it with median values. Now, one thing is that from this summary, we know that the median is somewhere around 11.6K. But let's say we don't want to put it in hard coded format. We ask in the code itself, in if else code itself, to calculate the median and to put it for the blank. So for that, we would use code something like this. Okay. Okay. Line number 71. Again, we are getting the same data set. We know y comma. We know this will be my new. Sorry, this is my want to change this column household income itself. We will be putting the newer variable in household income itself. We have the assignment. We now know what is if else. What we are saying as a condition is if the data had some missing. Okay, so for knowing the missing, we use is.na. Is.na will give you true and false kind of responses, saying if it is true, then that means there is no value present. False meaning there is value present. By default, when we say is.na of any variable, it would consider all the true values, that is all the missing values. So we give condition as if there are any missing, then we want to put median as a value. So if we want to calculate median, we have a function called as median. We will give the column name of which we want to get the median, and then we will write this. Okay, this says na.rm equal true. That means we want to remove the missing values when we are calculating the median. Otherwise, median would be we won't be getting any proper results. Okay, so we are imputing the median values wherever there is a missing household income, and for rest we are keeping the household income as is. Okay, so what I mean is, if we want to I have to show it in the represent in the data, we know that first is not missing until this point is not missing. Here we would want to see the median values, and rest would be keep as it is. Okay, so if I run this and if I view this data again, we know all these median values which we had seen here earlier as well in the summary part, we have imputed those. Anyone, any doubt? Just don't blindly copy the code. Understand what we are doing with every each and every character that we are putting in the code. Okay, so now you also do it at your end and let me know. And also, if we run the summary of this household income again, we would see now there are no NAs present. Okay, I'll wait for a minute. All okay till now? Okay, so till now we have looked at only the numerical variables, right? All the conversions or all the different data cleaning and feature creation activities that we did were around numerical variables. So we created, just recapping, we created a numeric variable using dates. We, two variables we created like that. We created a ratio again using two numerical variables. We created one numerical variable, converted that to category. Okay. We also practice the same on the age, which is the age is something that we only have created with using this. Then we also treated numerical variables with some median imputation. Okay, this what we did just now is called as median imputation for household income. Now we would go and see how and what we can do for few of the techniques for the categorical variables. Okay, so to first check how the categorical variables look, we have the best way to look at it, or the common way to look at it is to get the table. Okay, which we have already done. So now let's look at this one variable, and then we can get the understanding first, and then we'll do it for the rest. So here we see that the business is the highest frequency variable value, sorry, and the others is the lowest one. We also see there are a few unemployed, which is like at a lower end. Also there are some NAs. Okay, rest all of them are more or less more than we can say 250 and within control of 240. So similar, we can say uniform distribution. I wouldn't say exact uniform distribution, but they are aju baju, right? So one technique is to handle these others and unemployed and this NA part, is that we can club these three together. Okay, and we can group these three to create, of course, as a like a group variable, and those three will have a one value. Why we are doing this is, when we are giving this variable in any machine learning model, machine learning model categorizes, whenever there are categories, it just treats these values as a different groups, and within that group it tries to get the pattern. Now if in the training data we have a lesser frequency variables, it might capture some patterns which are not replicated in on the larger data set. So if you see in the training data set, there are some niche patterns, or there are some low frequency variables, we would want to club them. Yeah, is anyone saying something? Okay. Yeah, so for that, again, um, we would use if else, and that if else would look like something like this. ओए, 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 execute हो गया. Okay. Okay, again, we have used if else. We know how the now if else works. We will just specify these conditions. So we want to have you know the blanks or NAs in this case, NA, or if the value is unemployed, or if the value is others, we want to keep it as others. Rest, we want to keep it as is. Okay, and we are creating another variable out of it. We are not changing the original occupation variable. So we are creating a different variable occupation group, and we are just grouping these three. Okay, so unexpected. So with that, yeah. Again, if we run loan data, we see that now others value has increased. There are no NAs and there is no unemployed and with us. Okay. So now I want you to do this exercise right now. Any doubt till now? Why we are doing this? Once done, give me the frequency values in the chat. Done till now? Sania, Gaurav, Puram, Priya. Are you guys getting any error?
हॅलो आपलं तो दरवाजा बाहेरून बंद केलाय. बाहेरून का बंद केला? मला बाहेर येत नाही. बाहेरून
रिअलाइज नाही केलं.
हा?
रिअलाइज नाही झालं.
हा?
बाहेरून
हा.
लॉक केल्या करताना झालं का काय झालं? बाहेर यायचंय.
Okay. I hope everyone is, heard till now. Okay, great. Now, from the understanding of data earlier, what we had seen is blown defaulters is going to be our target, right? So first check how the frequency looks for default our target variable. That is default. So it's kind of an unbalanced data, which how it would be also in real life. That is the frequencies of yes, where in which we are interested in, because we want to predict who are likely to be the defaulters, right? Those incidences are much lesser than the other incidences. Okay, this is actually simulated data, so I have falsely added like higher frequency of yes. This would be much lesser. Okay, and why I am saying you this is because we have an imbalanced data. We need to take into consideration few things. For example, we need to understand that how this target variable is looking against few of the variables. Ideally we do it for all the variables. Right now we'll do it for one or two. So to see how it looks like, what we would do is we will take joint frequency. Okay. Now let's take occupation itself. Okay, occupation versus a loan default. So to check the joint frequency, check the joint frequency, we use table. How we use it, comma, we give another column. Okay, that would give us something like this. So it would, how we read it like that, there are, three, not five, clients which has occupation of business. They are not defaulters. There are 1154 customers with a business occupation who has done defaults in the past. We, if we want to check what is the proportion of it, then we use prop dot table. Prop dot table of what? Prop dot table of the frequency table, right? So we need to give this table command as well. Okay, this table and this table are not, similar. Prop table is a different command, is a different function that takes the proportion from any table. Okay, and this table is used for taking the frequencies. So if we run that, we get the proportions. How do we read it? There are 12% of business from all the business categories that are my bad. There are 12% from all the no's, not defaulters, that are falling into business. Okay, so if we if okay, let's execute this at your end as well, and just do it for few more variables. Let's do it for age, and do it for what did we get, one more categorical variable. Do it for education, and just paste it in the chat. Just get these proportions. Okay, did you get it for age and for education? आंसर्स चैट पे पेस्ट करो ना, those who have got it. Okay, so here when we are looking at this occupation and loan default as part, right? we see that this highest defaults are in business, okay, and the second highest are students, and then third highest as in they are in unemployed, okay. But when we were doing the grouping of data, we had grouped this in the others part. Now, this others, what we have it over here, they are not that risky customers, but this unemployed customers looks very risky, right? Because we are having 137 cases in unemployed which are defaulters. Okay, so we'll go back to our occupation group which we had created, and what we would do is we would just simply remove this condition because we want to keep it as it. Okay, so we just would now combine the NA characters, and we would combine just others into others, just we will keep them as is. Okay, so then and then let's check how the this occupation group looks with. Now we see that this unemployed variable is different, and why we have done it is because we want model to know that the unemployed till now have been a higher defaulters. Okay, if we would have clubbed that to others and fed it same thing to model, it would have lessened down the impact of unemployed, and it would treat unemployed others and the NA cases as equal. Okay, it would not, the unemployed being a defaulters, the pattern would not come forward. Okay, any doubts till now? Did you create change the variable occupation group?
So Mudita, once you are done with this topic, we'll take 5 minutes of a different topic. मतलब it's not related to machine learning, more in related to economics. So
Sure, that will
it's
be
थोड़ा
refreshing.
सा different thing also.
If there are no doubts, we can start. I guess no one has pasted anything.
Yeah. So everyone might be knowing that a lot of new data, macro data, has been published for India. Anyone who's being looking at it, once last time I had shared the inflation ka link. Every 12th of every month we get monthly inflation. Anyone has read about inflation numbers? Q2 GDP numbers has come. So anyone who's seen that? Read any article, something? Because we are economists after all, तो थोड़ा सा किसी ने पढ़ा होगा तो. So anyone who knows what is RBI's band of inflation? What is RBI's inflation target band?
4 plus or minus 2.
4 plus or minus 2. Yes, yes. And uh, you know RBI stance. What has RBI been doing with the repo rate?
Nothing in recent time.
Nothing in recent time. Yes, true. So yeah, so that is true. So lately, the latest numbers. So if you remember, last month the numbers had come to 6.2%, which was very high. inflation, the general CPI inflation had come to 6.2%, which is above the band, right? So there was a lot of concern, and then now again the numbers have come low. Anyone who nobody is tracking anything, nobody knows any numbers. That's a bit surprising. People, since we are economists, थोड़ा सा तो अंदाजा होना चाहिए. Not maybe not the detailed numbers, but at least थोड़ा सा बढ़ा है, कम हुआ है, some directional knowledge. Anyone who knows what happened with Q2 GDP? Is it high, low? Concerns? Okay, so let's थोड़ा सा any like, are you like listening, or मतलब today I'm seeing थोड़ा सा ठंडा है, so are you listening, or have you kept your laptop on and you are doing something else? Oh my God, that is so sad.
Listening, sir.
Listening. Okay, Gaurav, thank you. Okay, you can switch on your mic also. When we are online, it would be better, because when सामने होता है, that time we know that what is happening. Otherwise, mic बंद होता है, तो we never know what is going on. I'll just show you something interesting actually. Why I'm doing this is, since we are not programmers, after a point it might be a bit too much. 4 hours might be a bit too much. So I just thought we'll spend 5-6 minutes talking about economy. I'll just show you it. Can you see this screen? Now don't do thumbs up वगैरह. Just switch on the mic and speak. And I just prefer that way. I know that you guys are listening then. You can see the screen, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, okay. So what I'm showing you right now is how Mosby gives the GDP data. On the left side it's all in Hindi, so I'll just shift to the right side. On the right side, the same thing is given in English. So, oh, sorry. So sorry. Yeah. So we have the primary sector. Primary sector includes agriculture, livestock, and mining, quarrying. This is something you might know already. Secondary sector में manufacturing, electricity, gas, water supply, and construction. And then tertiary sector is this. And then when we look at the same thing in terms of agriculture, industry, and services, ये थोड़ा सा different हो जाता है. So this is agriculture, mining, quarrying becomes industry. All of these become industry. So this is also industry. Construction is also industry. There were talks in between to make construction service sector, but it's still industry. And then all of these are actually services. थोड़ा सा classification बदल जाता है, but that is how the economy is. And what actually happened this time, you might be very surprised to know. If you look at the numbers that 2024 were, average of 8.2% growth, which was a massive growth. India was the fastest growing large economy. You must have heard this. Fastest growing major economy. And then this year, we've kind of slowed down slightly. 6.7 is still very high, but this quarter, the quarter two of 24-25, has been particularly uh, very concerning. 5.4%, which is below the long period average जिसको बोलते हैं. Past 10 years, 15 years का average लेके we say there is a long period average, and we've been quite low on that. So can you think of any reason why this has happened? Can anyone think of reasons? And this is very intuitive. ऐसा कोई पेपर पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. This is about everyday life. I'm just trying to make a case about how the economy is interlinked. anybody, we can make a simple case about how inflation impacts. So you know that inflation has been high, right? And inflation, maybe the food component is very high. Okay, so food component is high, इसलिए the entire inflation is going above the on the upper side of the band. And so RBI, you might know, that is mandated to keep inflation down. And since the food inflation is high, and as a result the the consolidated index is high, so they have kept the repo rate unchanged at a very high rate. When the repo rate is high, borrowing costs are high, so businesses cannot take a loan. And when businesses cannot take a loan, they don't expand. So they don't expand, so they don't employ, they don't produce more. So cash in hand of people, incomes are lower, so wages have been low. Since wages have been low, consumption has been low. And since consumption has been low, we see that the GDP is low. So you see the entire circle happening over there. Correct? If you look at numbers sometime, if you get time, you'll see that consumption in India, private final consumption expenditure and government expenditure, है, दो ऐसा expenditure होता है. So these two together are more than 60% of the total GDP. तो अगर आपका consumption ही low चला जाता है, तो आपका अचानक से you realize that GDP growth एकदम कम हो गया. There is one more reason for it. Is anyone interested in this, और बोर हो रहा है बता दो, बंद कर देंगे, ऐसे कोई बात नहीं है. Is this interesting for you?
Yes, sir.
This is right. Nobody else, only Gaurav. Gaurav is very active today, I can see, but nobody else. I'm really surprised. नींद आ रहा है क्या?
बहुत टेक्निकल हो गया था. Actually, that's one of the reasons why we are going with this.
मैक्रो टेक्निकल हो गया?
नहीं
ओ
नहीं,
भाई,
पहले वाला टेक्निकल हो गया.
अरे पहले वाला क्या, वो तो ठीक है, वो बंद हो गया ना अभी. What? Forum, Sania, Rachel, Vijay Lakshmi, nobody is there. What is this? सब मस्त. I think
सर है सर.
क्या हो गया रेचल?
ज्यादा हो गया.
ज्यादा हो गया? क्या ज्यादा हो गया?
कोड्स.
कोर्स ज्यादा हो गया. अच्छा, तो ये बोलना ना, कोई गुस्सा हो रहा है क्या आपके ऊपर? यू कैन से दैट थोड़ा ज्यादा हो रहा है, ब्रेक दे दो. किस किस को, ओके, लेट्स टेक अ सर्वे, किस किस को कोर्स ज्यादा हो गया थोड़ा सा आज?
Raise your hands. Raise your hands.
ये फोरम, ओके. ओ बाबा, पूरा ये तो पूरा अटेंडेंस शीट हो गया ये तो.
और
दिस इज some excellent speed of response. क्या बात है. Okay, we'll do the other way around. Everyone should keep their hands down now, and then people who don't feel that this is too much. The Gaurav is the guy.
Gaurav is the only guy.
अरे गौरव ने हाथ नीचे कर दिया. What is this यार? गौरव यार, what is this? Okay, Gaurav has his hand up. Okay. Everyone else feels that it's too much. ठीक है. No, makes sense. I mean, we understand because it was a lot for us also. We've gone through the same thing. Mudita has been doing quite more intense coding. She's working with the generative AI now. Comparatively, I have done more of a mix of econometrics and economics and programming.
So one comment, when you were doing the course, right, you would copy and paste the code. That saves us time. Right now we are having to toggle between two windows, typing, so that's adding to the overhead.
Right. I understand. The intention was for you to, understand the code, and you should be able to write it on your own.
Yeah, I understand that, but right now it's...
Yeah, fair enough.
So how do you think we should do it? Any suggestions on that?
No, so you show the code and explain it, right? After that, when you tell us type, at that time, if it's available to us, it's easier. Because otherwise, we are typing, making mistakes, and then trying to debug our mistakes at the same time when you guys are explaining stuff. So I sort of got lost in between. The thread was lost for me somewhere while doing that because I had run into some issues with my code and syntax.
So we can do something midway. See, the reason we did this was what we realized. I realized during the papers actually was that conceptually everyone was good, but these brackets, spelling mistakes, something is in capital, something is small. So these small errors were there. Now, since it was an introductory course and econometrics was more important than coding itself, I had been a bit lenient with that. But something like a machine learning course is not interpretation. It is as much as interpretation as it is coding itself. So we just wanted कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा mistakes हो right now, so that when you actually do it, that time these mistakes don't occur. That is the reason why we thought that we'll not share the codes as we did in the econometrics course also.
No, but then you need to extend the session a bit more than the timing that we are following here if you want to use that kind of approach.
Okay, so we should give more time for the for typing, right? That's the
Yeah, that we can.
we should do that. Yeah, we should do that, and we should also we'll also think of if there is any midway of that also. The timing extend karna is an immediate thing, but if we can find a midway key,
I mean, you could do what we are suggesting. Show us the code, give us that, we put that in, and then maybe you can follow it up with an assignment or something which we can do on our own, maybe submit or whatever.
yeah, Mudita, we can do that, right? We can give an assignment so they can try it out by themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, point taken, Shahid. We can definitely do that. Yeah, yeah. If anything else also, we've been open to such feedback, so definitely we can implement that.
We can also try, in-person sessions so that if there are any errors, we can, personally come to your desk and, help you out with those.
Yeah, in person. So everyone can come in on that, but I think during the first session also, in person was preferred mode actually.
Hmm.
Yeah, rather than online. If Yeah, I think that is the
Yeah,
overall
from the
consensus
next
also.
sessions, we can.
The only problem is about working Saturday and non-working Saturday. So that is the challenge. Non-working Saturday pe it is compulsory to take off.
So, would it be possible if you guys know what you're going to take to sort of point us to material that we can read upfront so that absorption is easier for us?
Yeah, so we do a mix of two. We can share the book also. We do a mix of two because since Mudita is working uh, real time in this, there are some things that she gets from that also, like her experience also. So everything might not be there in the books because a lot of times books are. There are two ends too. If you look at the books now, there are two ends. One is that books create their own packages and teach based on those packages. If you look at a lot of ARCA books now, you'll find that they have made their own packages. So they are not base R at all. Base R pe hota hi nahi hai. In the back end, something is getting calculated and you don't know what is exactly happening. And the other end is where they use only the base package and not any of the packages that are used in the in industry. So that is the difficulty that happens in an open source software. This doesn't happen in some package like a Stata. Stata mein this doesn't happen. So that is, but we can share, we can do a mix, we can share this. So Mudita, in the previous session, what we used to do is a lot of times we shared the code earlier, like before
Okay.
the lecture or during the lecture, shared the code or blocks of code, and then they could just look at it and do. So, but what we discussed and I also agreed was that this is slightly different from what the econometrics course needed.
Mhm. So the
That
purpose of this code is for you to understand the coding. So we take the point that this might be too fast for you to toggle between screens and do some work. We'll also brainstorm few things, but
yeah.
I would actually refrain from sharing entire thing beforehand. Right? We can do something block wise, or we can have some other plan to work out. But yeah, we'll definitely take.
Yeah, we'll think about something. Point taken. Point taken. Yeah. Anyone else who has any other observation, suggestion? This is just the first lecture, and lots to go. So we can
So do we have a syllabus? I mean, we have not received any because these are new subjects. If you guys have the syllabus, could you share that with us?
Yeah, so we have a broad list of topics that we can share with you. Syllabus is something. Syllabus is something that has to be shared from the department, like
Yeah,
an
but
official.
for new subjects, there seems to be a lag with the NEP.
There
I
is
mean,
a, yeah,
yeah,
that
it's not the
happened.
intention, but somehow the official process seems to take much longer than.
We can
What,
share you the, so we have a list of topics that we've shared earlier also, so we can share it as a so a non-official, again, non-official list of topics we can share. But you know, the that you understand the problem, right? So we are open to sharing, but it shouldn't be taken as an official share. That's the only thing. So
and
hmm?
are you? I mean, this is technically machine learning, right? Are you doing it fully in R, or do we need something else? I mean, right now, without the syllabus, we don't really know what's coming at us.
this
So
is this is fully an R.
it's fully in R. And is there any primer on machine learning as a book that we should read to understand, depending on what's coming next?
Yes. So we will share a book. We have a book. We'll share the book also with you. So you can look at it. We largely follow the same logic. We follow a book because it is always logical. So we might add or subtract something, but the flow is as per the book. So we'll share it with you. It is titled Machine Learning Using R. It is entirely in R, and we will do a mix of supervised and unsupervised. We'll also do a mix of regression and classification. So that is largely the logic that we shared. We had, though it was not part of the topic shared. Mudita and I also spoke of, if part of Gen AI can be included, but we will, that is strictly based on how, if this part, first part is seen technical, we will not include that. So that is not part of the original idea, but only because it is used quite a bit in industry, it can be a bonus topic if other things are taken easily and it doesn't seem to be a challenge, so we can just add a bonus topic to it. That is the large logic. But we will do random forests. We'll do decision trees. We will also squeeze in support vector machines, which is, these things are very intuitive actually. So we can add that. And these regression trees and everything is for both classification and regression. So the logic with which this runs is very interesting, very intuitive. So it shouldn't be very difficult, and we will avoid the math, too much of mathematics within it. We'll try to make, like, the whole logic we will try to discuss. So that is the one thing. Makes sense.
Yeah. So when will you be able to share the book details?
Book details I'll give you now. After the lecture, I'll put it on the group. It's the same number of people, right? We can add Mudita in the same group. R wala jo
Yeah,
hai.
it's the same number of people.
Yeah. So we will add. I'll just share the link to that book. So that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. Anything else? Okay, I think this is it. All right. So just to, so I think let's summarize what we did till now, so that I personally think, that it has not been a very technical thing. It could be that we were doing codes all the while, and this is something we did not do during the first like last time. This is the we did a lot of coding this time, but the number of topics that we did today is not that much actually. So we started with reading data, uh, and that data, instead of taking as a CSV or a Excel, we did import from Excel or a CSV, but then we read it as data.table. So it's a different type of object. And we said that we are doing data.table because uh, it makes our life simple with the later analysis. Okay, that was the reason why we introduced data.table. So an additional topic today was data.table. After that, we looked at the data. Please do add if I miss anything. So then we tried to find out what is probably the dependent variable and the independent variables. Now, why do we jump directly to dependent variable and the independent variables? It is because if you remember, we spoke of it in the beginning of the lecture that machine learning ka objective kya hai? Is it only to is it to understand relationship between all the variables? No. So the essential part of it is whether we be able to accurately predict or classify a particular individual or a particular variable, predict a variable or classify an individual, right? So because that is the essential part of it, we start with identifying what is a good target variable, right? And over here we said that okay, our target variable is whether a person would default a loan or not, correct? We also spoke of if that data is there with us, we said that okay, this data can be used to train a model. We'll train a model, and then when we have information for another person, all the information except whether that person will default or not, right? वो variable नहीं होगा, whether he will default or not is what will not be available to us, but all other variables will be available to us. So based on the other variables, can we forecast accurately that a person will default or not? Is what our larger objective is. And that is the objective we are going with, like hypothesis we are going with in this whole subject of machine learning. Okay, we are going to use various algorithms in order to forecast best whether a person will default a loan or not. Right? As a side practice, we also used another data. वो डेटा क्या था? Data was about movies, right? Whether a person will go for a movie or not, yes or no. And again, we had a set of variables, and the larger objective is to use those other variables to forecast best whether a person will go to the movies or not. Right? Parallelly, दो data हमने शुरू किया. And then we realized, okay, we have some variables, but those variables are not directly usable. We need to calculate something and create better variables that can go into the model, and we called it feature creation or feature engineering, right? As part of that, we first looked at dates, date ठीक से आ रहा है कि नहीं, what is the minimum date, maximum date वगैरह, वो सब dates का हमने देखा. And then now we are actually moving towards understanding how the variables are, how they correlate with the target variable. That is something we were doing. If you see, it's not a big quantum of work that we did today. Maybe, it's just that we did a lot of coding, that got a bit heavy. Is there anything additional we did? Anyone who thinks? Mudita also can tell if I missed anything.
No, I guess you covered, all the topics that we covered.
Topics are covered, right? And we squeezed in some if-else functions also, and so that is I am very confident that they are good at, because I know that they are good at it. So that should not be a problem at all. So once we create these good variables, from next time we are actually going to get our hands dirty on the actual algorithms.
Yes.
So anyone who got stuck in this has any doubt anywhere?
Yeah, if they want to share their screen, they have stuck, on a line anywhere. One-to-one भी करना है तो we can, arrange some break rooms and we can solve that.
Yeah, and they write on mail. If anyone has a doubt, they write on mail and we do respond.
Right now we have some time till,
Yeah, we have time, and there's some, we had, hope कि थोड़ा और भी कर पाएंगे, but that's fine. It's flexible. ऐसा कोई issue नहीं. Can you share some practice? Definitely, Gaurav. Actually, we have shared a practice data itself. I think what we'll do is, as Sharad also suggested, it's a good idea that we will give for the rest of the week. It doesn't take time actually. It takes not more than 15-20 minutes to actually do this. So we can make some questions and give it to everyone so they can try it, and maybe, you know, if they face any issues, they can write to us.
Yeah,
है ना?
so we can do it like loan data is for our understanding, and the movie data is for practice.
Movie data we can give for practice. That's a good idea. Vijay Lakshmi.
But just give us the actual questions rather than tell us to, visualize. That becomes difficult. Last time
We're sharing the questions, proper
we
questions.
had that idea that you have this data set and randomly select one or the other. That becomes difficult for us to
No,
interpret.
I didn't get your question. Sorry.
No, so I think previously we said, okay, you have this data set, there are these many variables, and try out a regression. That becomes more general. So in the assignment, we would ideally like it to be more specific. Take this as the dependent variable, take this as the independent, and do this with that.
Okay, we'll do that. Acha, last time ka practice questions you are saying. Okay, got it. I understood. We'll do that. We'll give a specific thing and specific data also, and you can practice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, I guess this is fine.
Sir,
Huh.
sir, when I run the code for a date of birth, NA is coming there.
Yes. Can you share your screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Tell me. Acha, date of birth is coming in as NA. Okay. Can you read the data again first? Because the data abhi to chala gaya, so we just rerun that part. Read that data again. And Mudita, if you could just help.
Yeah. हो गया ना इधर. अब now check. So on line number 13 itself, you are converting that to. Okay, it is coming it as a blank. Could you go up in the console? Okay, the format that you have written, right? Just remove that part from both the, yeah, even from the loan date. Now read data again and then execute these.
Now it's coming, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. So when you are it's not necessary, right? Then they just don't mention the format. Okay.
Thank you,
Whenever,
ma'am.
yeah, yeah, and just try to keep two different scripts, one for the loan data and the other for the movie data. It will be easier, right? अभी सब एक में ही दिख रहा है, you would only get confused later on.
So he had put in the
What,
correct.
ma'am? Can you repeat?
So I'm saying for the loan defaulters, what we were doing, right? Keep that all in one script, okay? And whatever the movie data related stuff you have done, right? Keep that in another script.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, that will be easier for you later on to understand what we have done and what we have to do.
So question, the format that he had put in YY dash MM dash TD, is that the valid format to use in our?
I would say are in some versions, okay. If the formatted YYYMMDD, and if you specify the format, it somehow is not able to capture. Okay, so that's the reason I said if it is coming as a blank, then only go, and or if the format is other than YYYMMDD, then only mention that format. Otherwise, just don't.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else?
Any other difficulty? Gaurav, this is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay. Uh, ठीक है. So what do you suggest doing if it is if it got a bit too much today? We can stop for today and we can continue from the next week, because immediately next week we have a lecture in class. So maybe we can continue there. We've half an hour to go actually. What do you think, Mudita and everyone? Actually, we are open to feedback on that. Don't mind.
Yeah, I guess we
Yeah,
can
because we want everyone to know
understand.
this, because yeah, this is an important step. Eventually, what happens is when you're in a data science field, you end up doing this more than building models. I'll be very honest with you. This is the 90% of the time your time goes in cleaning dates, cleaning variables, etc. Model building is the smallest part a lot of times. So, I mean, this is an essential thing we need. And in your interviews also, they are going to ask you to change column names, and as I mentioned earlier also, going to tell you to clean data and not to run models, and that is what the expectation is usually from a uh, an initial like data science recruit. So we want you guys to pay attention and learn as much as possible. So we can start with a fresh mind next week, and then move to the next topics. Yeah, makes sense for everyone.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay then, nice meeting you all after a long time. We will share the codes, and you can practice them. If you have any doubts, you can let us know. And from the next time, we'll find some way of the coding part. Let's see what can we do.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
See you guys. Yeah.
Yes. See you next weekend. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rachel. You were. I'm very disappointed that you were not as responsive as you are